Route 66, Route 66. We'll drive around the classic cars, pick up chicks and biker bars. It doesn't matter where we are, as long as we're on Route 66, Route 66.
There she sits, buddy, just a gleaming in the sun, there to greet a working man when his day is done. I'm gonna take my pa and I'm gonna take my aunt, gonna take them down to the Cadillac Ranch. This is Insane Sam here, guiding you on the last leg of your 5th day on Route 66. As you leave Amarillo on Indian Hill Road, you're going to be just off the I-40 frontage road, and if you look to your left through the trees, you're going to see the Cadillac Ranch. This was created in 1974 by Stanley Marsh out of 10 Cadillacs he buried in a field at an angle, supposedly the same angle as the Great Pyramid of Giza. The deal is it's supposed to be all of the different fin styles Cadillacs ever had. You can walk out to the cars if you want to. To do that, go down to Bushland, double back on the other side of the frontage road, and you can walk out to the cars. This is a truly strange deal, but it's worth the stop. Hey, little girlie in your blue jeans so tight, riding all along on a sultry Texas night. You're my best love, baby, you're my last chance. Take me on down to the Cadillac Ranch. Okay, Bushland's the next town. It's at the eastern edge of the Llano Estacado, or Staked Plains, which is one of the largest natural grasslands in the world. Legend has it that when Coronado was searching west for the lost city of gold in 1541, the grass was so thick he had to plant stakes in the ground to find his way out. Wild Dorado's next. It was founded in about 1900 as a camp where travelers could rest, shoe their horses, and repair their equipment, stuff like that. If you like the smell of manure in the morning, you're going to love Wild Dorado. There's a 50,000 head of cattle feedlot that's smellable for miles in all directions. What happens in Vega stays in Vega. Vega has a 1920s Magnolia gas station that's been partially restored. Dot's Mini Museum once was a Route 66 staple. Now it has a few small rooms filled with Route 66 artifacts and a cowboy boot tree that has a lot of cowboy boots tied to it. It's usually not open, and when it's open, it's usually not attended. The 1947 Vega Motel is a pretty cool spot, but it's been closed for years. Adrian claims to be the midpoint between Chicago and LA on Route 66. You can stop at the 1928 Midpoint Cafe and Grill and gift shop. The homemade ugly crust pies are their big deal. This is a family-oriented place. Every time I've showed up there on a motorcycle, everyone on the staff was worried that I was going to commit mayhem or something like that. Don't miss the fabulous 40 Motel sign. Glen Rio is a ghost town on the Texas-New Mexico border. It was founded in 1920, and back then the town had a hotel, a hardware store, a post office, a land office, a bunch of grocery stores, service stations, all that kind of stuff. After I-40 bypassed Glen Rio, it went into bad decline, and by 1980, only 2 residents remained. Part of the movie The Grapes of Wrath was filmed in Glen Rio, and poignantly enough, Glen Rio was an actual stopping point for Okies traveling west during the Great Depression. When you get over to the New Mexico side, be sure to stop at Russell's Travel Center just across the border. It's a modern store that has any provisions you might need. There's also a really cool car and motorcycle museum, along with a bunch of Route 66 memorabilia. San Juan is the first town in New Mexico. Some friends of mine stayed at the San Juan Motel for $30, and the owner bought beer and grilled burgers for everybody. They told me they had a lot of fun. The last stop on this leg of your trip is Tucumcari. Tucumcari once was a crossroads of commerce and one of the busiest towns on Route 66. It was founded in 1901 when the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific Railroad had a construction camp there called Ragtown. Later it was called Six Gun Siding because they always had gunfights there, and still later it was called Douglas. Finally in 1908 it was renamed Tucumcari after nearby Tucumcari Mountain. Legend has it the mountain got its name from 2 lovers, Tucum and Cari, who died tragic deaths during a dispute between their parents over leadership of a band of Apaches. Apparently these Apaches had just finished reading Romeo and Juliet. Tucumcari is at the eastern end of the Route 66 New Mexico motor tour, They have a bunch of classic cars that drive over the old alignment of Route 66 from Tucumcari to Gallup each year. Tucumcari also hosts Wheels on 66, which is a car show held in conjunction with that motor tour. Tucumcari has a bunch of motels with vintage neon signs. Some are lit up at night even though the motels have been long closed. The Blue Swallow has a bright blue neon sign that announces it's 100% refrigerated air. This is maybe the most photographed motel sign on Route 66, and it's the best place to stay in town. Make sure you get your reservations well in advance. When Tucumcari was bypassed by I-40, all the businesses in Tucumcari suffered, including the Blue Swallow. The owner said, when Route 66 was closed to the majority of traffic and other highway came in, I felt like I just had lost a friend. Some of us stuck it out and we're still here on Route 66. That was over 50 years ago. The Safari Motel, which is across the street from the Blue Swallow, has been refurbished, and it's another nice Route 66 stop. The Apache Hotel has a great sign, but it's been closed for years. I hear it's reopening this spring. The Powwow Motel is in bad disrepair, but it has the Lizard Lounge, which is the only decent bar in town. It dates from the 1930s, and there's some really neat photos showing what Tucumcari looked like when it was booming. They have a car service there to get you to and from your hotel if you're staying somewhere else, so you don't have to worry about drinking and driving. TP Curios at the corner of Route 66 and Park Street is shaped like a teepee. It's one of the best surviving curio shops on Route 66. Don't miss the Route 66 Historical Museum on Adams Street, and the Route 66 Monument is a sculpture by Tom Coffin dedicated in 1997, and it's the newest of the Route 66 attractions in Tucumcari. It's in front of the Tucumcari Convention Center on the west side of town. So, this is the halfway point on your trip. Find a nice place to stay, go to the Lizard Lounge for some dinner and a few Frosties, and get ready to head toward California in the morning. But before you go to the next video, hit the subscribe button. That way you'll get notifications of when I post new videos and other info you might otherwise miss. Also, if you leave your comments on this video, I'll read them and do my best to personally respond. This is Insane Sam, out.